Captain Lee gripped the command chair's armrests as the UES Perseus shuddered through another dimensional phase shift. The bridge lights flickered between normal illumination and an eerie purple glow that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. 5 years of testing, countless failures, and 3 crew members lost to dimensional rifts had led to this moment. "Captain, we're holding steady at 60% phase variance," Engineering Officer Kim reported, her voice tight with concentration. "The dark matter core is responding better than our simulations predicted." Through the main viewport, space itself looked wrong. Stars appeared to bend and stretch like light through water. The Perseus wasn't just invisible, it was partially sliding between dimensions, existing in multiple realities simultaneously. "What's our location status?" Lee asked, though he knew the answer would sound impossible. "We're everywhere and nowhere, sir," Helm Officer Park replied, checking his instruments twice. "Sensors show us in Sol system, but also detect the ship near Alpha Centauri and somehow in the Vega sector. It's like we're in all 3 places at once." The dark matter drive hummed with an otherworldly resonance that seemed to vibrate through their bones. This wasn't just a new propulsion system. It was revolutionary technology that broke every known law of physics. The drive didn't push the ship through space. It folded reality around them, allowing them to exist in multiple dimensional states. Dr. Yoon, the lead physicist who'd spent decades developing the theory, monitored the quantum fluctuations from her station. "The consciousness-dark matter interface is stabilizing, Captain. It appears human neural patterns have a unique resonance with dark matter fields that we never expected." 3,000 light-years away, in the crystal spires of the Galactics. Council chamber. Emergency klaxons wailed. The massive holographic display showed fuzzy sensor readings from their spy network throughout human space. Ships appearing from nothing, vanishing like mirages, striking like phantoms. Admiral Rextar, a towering Centaurian with 4 arms and skin like polished obsidian, slammed his primary fist on the tactical display. "Show me the footage again." The hologram flickered to life, revealing grainy images of human vessels that seemed to exist between heartbeats. The ships appeared solid for mere seconds before dissolving into shadow and light, only to reappear elsewhere with impossible speed. "Analyze this," he commanded his aide, a crystalline being whose voice chimed like broken glass. "Is this some kind of cloaking technology?" "Negative, Admiral. These readings suggest something far more dangerous. The humans aren't hiding. They're phasing between dimensional barriers we didn't know existed." Counselor Vexith, her serpentine, form coiled around her floating chair, watched the display with narrowed eyes. Her species had conquered 17 star systems through superior technology. The thought of humans barely 2 centuries into space travel, achieving something beyond their understanding, made her scales ripple with unease. "How many vessels?" she hissed. "Unknown. They appear and disappear too quickly for accurate counting, but our intelligence suggests they've built at least 5 of these phantoms." Back on Earth's lunar base, Commander Yoon monitored the Perseus test from the underground control center. Banks of quantum computers processed data streams that would have been impossible to understand just years ago. The breakthrough had come when they realized consciousness itself played a role in dark matter manipulation. "Perseus, this is lunar base," she transmitted. "We're reading clean phase synchronization. How's the crew handling the dimensional transition?" "Captain." Lee looked around his bridge. His crew showed no signs of the disorientation that had plagued earlier tests. "No adverse effects this time, Lunar Base. It seems like we've finally cracked the neural adaptation protocols." The Perseus phased back into normal space near Earth's moon. The sensation was indescribable, like stepping out of a dream into reality, though they'd never really left either state. "Sir," Tactical Officer Kim interrupted, "we're receiving multiple encrypted transmissions from deep space. Someone's been watching us." On the Perseus's secondary display, alien script flowed across the screen. The translation came through moments later. "First sighting of phantom vessels confirmed. Recommend immediate military response. These humans have developed weapon systems beyond Council comprehension." The bridge fell silent. They'd known this. Day would come when humanity's new technology would attract galactic attention. But seeing those words made it real. "Captain," Dr. Yoon asked quietly, "what are your orders?" Lee studied the display showing their successful test data. The Perseus had just proven that humans could build ships that existed partially outside reality itself. In the wrong hands, this technology could reshape the galaxy. In human hands, it might be their only hope against what was coming. "Begin production of the remaining dark matter vessels," he ordered. "And send a message to Earth Command. Tell them the Galactic Council knows about us now." As the Perseus returned to dock, its hull still shimmering with residual dimensional energy, Captain Lee wondered if they'd just saved humanity or doomed the galaxy. The dark matter drive had given them power beyond imagination, but with it came the attention of forces that had ruled the stars for millennia. The test was over. The war was about to begin. The Council fleet emerged from hyperspace like a dark cloud blocking out the sun. 200 warships, each the size of a small city, arranged themselves in perfect formation at the edge of Earth's solar system. Their hulls gleamed with alien metals that absorbed and reflected light in patterns that hurt human eyes to look at directly. Communications Officer Park stared at her screens aboard the orbital defense station. "Sir, I'm detecting at least 40 different ship designs. This isn't just one species. They've brought representatives from across the galaxy." Defense Secretary Han floated in zero-G conference chamber, surrounded by holographic displays showing the approaching fleet. Around him, Earth's military leaders watched the tactical situation develop with growing dread. 200 ships against our entire space force, Admiral Min muttered. "They could glass every colony we have." The lead vessel, a crystalline structure that looked more like a weapon than a ship, transmitted on all human frequencies. The voice that came through was artificially perfect, too smooth to be natural. "Greetings, primitive humans. We represent the Galactic Council, the lawful government of civilized space. We come in peace to discuss technology exchange." Captain Lee, now aboard the Perseus hidden in Earth's shadow, watched the proceedings from his dimensional phase state. His ship existed between realities, invisible to normal sensors, but able to observe everything. "They're moving into attack. Formation," he reported to the defense coordinators. "Whatever they're planning, it's not peaceful." The alien admiral continued his transmission, his words dripping with false courtesy. "We have observed your recent technological developments with great interest. Please prepare to receive our boarding parties for inspection and negotiation." Defense Secretary Han activated his secure channel to the Perseus and 2 other dark matter ships hiding in phase space. "Captain Lee, are your vessels ready?" "Standing by, sir. We can hit them from angles they can't even imagine." The alien fleet's true nature revealed itself when a massive beam weapon charged up on the lead vessel. Without warning, Mining Station 7, a civilian facility with over 5,000 workers, disappeared in a flash of plasma fire. "My God," whispered Communications Officer Park as debris scattered across the void. "They just murdered 5,000 people." The alien admiral's voice returned, now cold and threatening. "That was a demonstration of our power. Surrender your dark matter technology immediately, or we will systematically destroy every human settlement beyond Earth." Defense Secretary. Han's face hardened. "So much for peaceful contact. All units, weapons free. Show them what humanity can do." The Perseus phased into normal space first, materializing directly between 2 Council destroyers, like a ghost becoming flesh. Captain Lee's crew had trained for this moment, but seeing enemy vessels suddenly fill their view screen was still shocking. "Target the nearest cruiser's reactor," Lee ordered. "Let's give them a surprise they'll never forget." The Perseus fired its dark matter weapons, beams that existed partially outside normal space, passing through shields and armor like they weren't there. The alien cruiser exploded in a ball of exotic particles, its death scream broadcasting across all frequencies. The second dark matter ship, the UES Phantom under Captain Seo, appeared inside the enemy formation like a striking serpent. "Admiral," she reported calmly, "we're reading massive confusion in their ranks. They can't target what they can't properly see." The third vessel, commanded by Captain Yoon, flickered in and out of existence around the edges of the battle. Each appearance brought destruction, weapons fire from impossible angles, torpedoes that curved through dimensions, attacks that seemed to come from empty space. The Council fleet tried to adapt, their powerful weapons swiveling to track the human ships. But how do you aim at something that exists in multiple dimensions? Their targeting computers couldn't lock onto vessels that phased between realities. "Impossible," roared Admiral Rexstar aboard the lead Council vessel. "Deploy the graviton mines, create a containment field." Spherical devices launched from the alien ships, spreading throughout the battle zone. Each mine generated a localized gravity well-designed to trap the human vessels in normal space. Captain Lee watched his phase drive reading spike as the gravitational fields interfered with their dimensional systems. "They're trying to force us back into regular space," he warned the other captains. "We need to finish this quickly." The Perseus dove through a cluster of enemy fighters, its hull rippling through dimensions. Fighter craft exploded as they tried to intercept a ship that kept phasing in and out of existence. Some pilots fired at empty space, others found their shots passing harmlessly through the Perseus as it existed partially in another dimension. "Captain," Tactical Officer Kim reported, "enemy flagship is charging some kind of superweapon. Energy readings are off the charts." The Council command ship began to glow with gathered energy. Whatever they were preparing, it was powerful enough to sterilize planets. "All ships converge on the flagship," Lee commanded. "We cannot let them use that weapon." The 3 dark matter vessels phased through the enemy formation toward their target. Behind them, the Council fleet struggled to reorganize, their advanced sensors useless against technology that shouldn't exist. This was humanity's first taste of galactic warfare, and they were proving that sometimes the newest player could change the entire game. Deep beneath Seoul's sprawling metropolis, in laboratories carved from solid granite, Dr. Kim stood before a gathering that would have been impossible just weeks ago. Human scientists sat alongside captured alien prisoners, the bitter enemies forced together by the shocking revelations about humanity's breakthrough. The holographic display showed swirling patterns of energy that seemed to shift and writhe like living things. Dark matter streams danced through 3-dimensional models, their movements guided by something the aliens had never seen before: conscious thought. "Your species missed the most important component," Dr. Kim explained, watching the alien. Prisoners leaned forward despite themselves. "Dark matter isn't just exotic matter that doesn't interact with normal physics. It responds to consciousness itself." Admiral Rexstar, the proud Centauri commander, now sitting in restraints that hummed with containment fields, scoffed. "Impossible. We've studied dark matter for millennia. Our greatest minds have dissected its properties down to the quantum level." Dr. Kim smiled sadly. "And that's precisely why you failed. You treated it as a substance to be catalogued and controlled. We treated it as something that could be communicated with." She gestured, and the holographic display zoomed in on neural pathway diagrams. Human consciousness operates on frequencies that naturally align with dark matter fields. We don't know why. Perhaps it's how we evolved, or maybe it's something unique about our species. But when humans focus their thoughts in specific ways, dark matter responds. Commander O stepped forward, his weathered face showing both pride and apprehension. "Show them the pilot integration process," he instructed. The room's atmosphere changed as a new hologram materialized, a human pilot connected to a ship through neural interfaces that looked more organic than technological. Tendrils of dark energy flowed between the pilot's brain and the vessel's core, creating patterns that pulsed with lifelike rhythms. "This is Lieutenant Min during her first successful phase test," Dr. Kim explained. "Watch her neural activity." The hologram showed brain scans that resembled star maps more than medical readings. The pilot's consciousness seemed to expand beyond her physical form, interfacing directly with dark matter currents throughout space. Chief Engineer Park, his arms covered in burn scars from early experiments, joined the presentation. "Your ships use dark matter as fuel or to generate thrust. Our ships become dark matter temporarily." He activated another display, showing the Perseus during battle, the vessel flickering like a mirage. "We don't travel through space in the conventional sense. Our pilots think their ships through folded spacetime, stepping between dimensional layers like walking through rooms in a house." The captured Centauri admiral felt something cold crawl up his spine. You mean your ships? They ceased to exist. In our reality? Not ceased, Park corrected, redistributed. When a dark matter ship phases, it exists in multiple dimensional states simultaneously. We're here, there, and everywhere at once. The pilot's consciousness guides which reality we interact with. A crystalline alien prisoner, its voice like wine chimes, asked, "How do you maintain cohesion across multiple dimensions? The energy requirements alone should tear your vessels apart." Dr. Kim's expression grew thoughtful. That's where consciousness comes in again. The pilot's mind acts as an anchor point. Their awareness holds the ship together across dimensional boundaries. It's not just technology. It's a partnership between human thought and the fundamental forces of the universe. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. These weren't just advanced weapons. They were something entirely new, a fusion of biology and physics that the galaxy had never encountered. Commander O activated a tactical display showing recent battle data. Your weapons couldn't target our ships because you were aiming at shadows. When we phase into dark matter space, we exist outside the electromagnetic spectrum your sensors detect. We see you, but you can't see us. The Centauri admiral's forearms flexed against his restraints. This is why our plasma cannons passed harmlessly through your vessels during the first engagement. Exactly. Your weapons were firing at the wrong dimension, Park confirmed. We were there, but also not there, existing in the spaces between your reality. Dr. Kim brought up footage from inside a dark matter ship during phase transition. The crew moved normally, while space outside became fluid, stars stretching like taffy as they slipped between dimensional boundaries. The most remarkable part, she said, is that time operates differently in dark matter space. What takes hours in normal space can be accomplished in minutes when phased. Distance becomes irrelevant when you can step through the fabric of space-time itself. An insectoid. Prisoner clicked its mandibles nervously. How many of these vessels do you possess? Commander O smiled grimly. Enough. The alien prisoners exchanged worried glances. They had come to destroy or capture this technology, thinking humans had built better weapons. Now they realized the truth was far worse. Humanity hadn't just advanced their technology, they had transcended conventional physics entirely. Admiral Rextar stared at the holographic displays, his mind reeling. His species had ruled space for 50,000 years through superior firepower and advanced engineering. All of it was now obsolete. How do you fight something that exists outside reality? He muttered, more to himself than anyone else. Dr. Kim overheard and turned to face him. That's the wrong question, Admiral. The question is, why would you want to fight us at all? Admiral Min stood on the command deck of the flagship UES Sovereign, watching readouts from across the galaxy. The dark matter fleet had grown to 200 vessels, each one a weapon that defied every law of physics the Council knew. Around him, holographic displays showed Council positions throughout known space, shipyards, communication hubs, military bases, all perfect targets for humanity's new strategy. Fleet status report, he commanded, his voice echoing across the vast bridge. Operations Officer Choi looked up from her station. All vessels are locked into the dimensional matrix, sir. Phase synchronization is at optimal levels. We're ready to strike simultaneously across 17 star systems. The beauty of dark matter technology was its complete violation of space-time limitations. While Council fleets needed months to travel between systems, human ships could appear anywhere instantly, stepping through folded dimensions like moving between rooms. Signal all ships, Min ordered. Operation Ghost Strike begins now. All ships, phase shift in 3, 2, 1. The Sovereign simply stepped. One moment they were hidden in the void between systems. The next they materialized inside the massive shipyard orbiting Centauri Prime. The alien workers could only stare in shock as 200 human vessels appeared from nothing, filling the space around their most important military installation. Admiral Rextar, monitoring from his command station, watched his fleet disperse across the galaxy on his tactical display. At Vorthen Supply Base, 3 dark matter ships phased through the station's defensive grid and began systematically destroying ammunition depots. The explosions lit up the night sky of 2 moons as stored energy weapons detonated in spectacular chain reactions. Captain Seo aboard the UES Phantom received her assignment with grim satisfaction. The world of Kepler 442b had been home to a human colony until the Council arrived. 50,000 humans had been enslaved, forced to mine rare crystals in conditions that killed dozens daily. "Phantom to command," she reported as her ship slipped through dark matter space. "We've got visual on the target world, seeing massive Council reinforcements incoming, at least 40 battle cruisers." "Let them come," Admiral Min replied from the Sovereign. "They still think in 3 dimensions." The Phantom emerged from phase space directly above the planet's primary mining complex. Below, massive excavation machines operated by human slaves tore into the planet's surface, while Council overseers watched from floating platforms. "All stop," SEO ordered. "Prepare for precision strikes. Target the overseer platforms first, avoid the human workers." The Council reinforcements dropped out of hyperspace in perfect formation, their weapons already charging. Admiral Kexathara, commanding. The relief fleet opened communications. "Human vessel, you are outnumbered 40 to 1. Surrender immediately or face annihilation." Captain Seo smiled. "Operations, show them how we hunt in dark matter space." The Phantom phased. To the Council forces, the human ship simply vanished. Their sensors showed empty space where the vessel had been. Then, impossibly, weapons fire erupted from within their formation. The Phantom had materialized inside their defensive perimeter, unleashing devastating salvos at point-blank range. Before the aliens could react, the Phantom vanished again. It reappeared behind their formation, then above it, then seemingly everywhere at once. Each time it phased into reality, another Council ship exploded. "Impossible!" Kexathara roared. "They're breaking every law of physics." The human ship didn't just move through space, it danced between dimensions. One moment it was a solid vessel exchanging fire, the next it was a ghost passing harmlessly through enemy hulls, preparing to strike from impossible angles. Meanwhile, at the Galactic Communication Hub of Nexus Station, Commander Yoon led a strike team of 5 dark matter ships. The station was a massive structure that relayed messages across half the galaxy, keeping the Council's far-flung empire connected. "Remember," Yoon transmitted to his pilots, "we're not here to destroy everything. We need Council worlds to lose contact with each other, but civilian communications stay operational." The human ships phased into the station's interior, appearing in maintenance corridors and power distribution centers. Engineers and technicians fled in panic as ghostly vessels moved through solid walls, systematically destroying military relay nodes while leaving civilian systems untouched. President Kim sat in the Situation Room deep beneath Seoul, watching reports stream in from across human space. The holographic galaxy map showed red markers disappearing one by one as Council strongholds fell to the dark matter fleet. "Ma'am," reported General Han, "we've successfully liberated 47 human colonies in the past 6 hours. Our people are safe, and Council forces are in full retreat from most systems." "And their response?" she asked. "Chaos, ma'am. Their fleet commanders can't coordinate when they never know where our ships will appear next. We're hitting them faster than they can react or regroup." On the bridge of the Sovereign, Admiral Min watched with satisfaction as his fleet surgeon strikes continued. At the Rigel shipyards, human vessels had appeared inside the construction bays, destroying half-built warships before they could be completed. At Vega Command, the entire Council War Planning Center had been occupied by troops who simply walked through the walls via phased transport. "Sir," Communications Officer Park announced, "we're receiving surrender requests from 12 Council member species. They're asking for ceasefire negotiations." Min nodded grimly. "Not yet. First, we ensure every human slave is free. Every colony is liberated. They came to conquer us. Now they learn what it means to be hunted." The dark matter fleet continued its unprecedented campaign. Ships that could be everywhere and nowhere, striking like lightning and vanishing like dreams. The proud Council forces that had thought humans primitive found themselves completely outmatched by an enemy that had transcended the basic rules of warfare. The hunters had become the hunted, and the galaxy would never be the same. The morning of the final demonstration began like any other day across the galaxy, but it would end as the most significant day in galactic history. In the command center of Earth's orbital station, Admiral O stood before the biggest tactical display ever assembled, a real-time map showing every Council homeworld across known space. "Fleet status report," he requested, though he already knew the answer. Months of careful planning had led to this moment. 5,237 vessels are now deployed and ready, sir, reported Fleet Coordinator Lee. All ships are locked into the dimensional matrix. We can execute synchronized phase transitions across the entire galaxy. These weren't just the ghostly warships that had terrorized the Council. Humanity had also created phase-capable transports, supply vessels, and even hospital ships that could appear anywhere instantly. The technology that started as a weapon had become the foundation of a new kind of civilization. "Signal all ships," Admiral O commanded. "Operation Final Dawn begins in 10 minutes. All vessels will phase simultaneously to designated coordinates." Across the galaxy, 5,000 human vessels waited in dark matter space, existing between dimensions like held breath. Their crews had trained for this moment, the largest coordinated military action in galactic history. On Centauri Prime, Admiral Rextar stood on his command deck, watching the empty skies above his homeworld. The defeat of the Council fleet had shaken him, but he still held on to hope that humanity's strange ships were limited in number. "Sir," his aide reported nervously, "long-range sensors are detecting dimensional anomalies throughout the system." "Something's coming," Rextar nodded grimly. "Send word to the defense fleet, whatever humanity brings will..." The sky exploded with ships. Not dozens, not hundreds. Thousands of human vessels materialized simultaneously above Centauri Prime, filling the atmosphere from horizon to horizon. The massive warships blotted out moons and cast shadows across entire continents. On every Council homeworld, the story was the same. Above the crystal cities of Vorthak, the gas giant habitats of Zephyria, the underground warrens of Molex, everywhere the Council ruled, human ships appeared like storm clouds gathering for judgment. Admiral O's voice boomed across every planet, translated into hundreds of languages. "Citizens of the Galactic Council, this is humanity's declaration of our new place in this galaxy. You came to our home as conquerors, seeking to destroy or enslave us. We have shown you what true power means." The synchronized appearance was more than intimidation. It was a demonstration of capabilities that defied everything the Council thought they knew. How do you fight an enemy that can deploy 5,000 ships across the galaxy in the same instant? President Park sat in the emergency session of the Council chamber, now relocated to a neutral station between Earth and Centauri space. The proud alien leaders who had once looked down on humanity sat in defeat, their entire military doctrine rendered obsolete by dark matter technology. "Your terms?" asked what had once been High Counselor Vexith, her serpentine form coiled in. "Submission." President Park stood, her words broadcast to every world, human and alien alike. "From this day forward, no species shall enslave another. No civilization shall dictate terms through force alone. Technology and knowledge will be shared for the benefit of all. We establish a new galactic charter based on cooperation, not domination." The former Council members had no choice but to agree. Their fleets were scattered, their defenses useless against ships that existed partially outside reality itself. Within hours, surrender documents were signed across dozens of worlds. But even as the ceremonies concluded, Dr. Kim burst into the command center with troubling news. "Admiral, President Park, we have a problem." She activated emergency displays showing sensor readings from the galactic edge. "Our dark matter operations have been creating ripples through dimensional space. Something out there is responding to them." The readings were unlike anything in human or Council databases. Massive energy signatures moving through the void between galaxies heading toward the Milky Way. Whatever these entities were, they were ancient, powerful, and they had noticed humanity's breakthrough. "How long until they arrive?" President Park asked. "Based on their current trajectory, 2 years, maybe less." Admiral O frowned as he studied the readings. "Are they hostile?" "Unknown, but they're following the dark matter disturbances directly." we may have attracted attention we weren't ready for. The newly unified galaxy looked toward the darkness between stars, where things older than civilizations stirred in response to humanity's technological revolution. The Council Wars were over, but a far greater challenge approached from the cosmic, deep. In the observation deck of the Sovereign, Captain Lee watched the stars and wondered if humanity's greatest triumph might have just signed their own warrant. They had become the dominant force in known space, but something unknown was coming, something that made the Council's might look like children's toys. The dark matter drives hummed softly around him, miraculous technology that had changed everything. Now humanity would need every advantage they could get. The galaxy was united at last, but the true test was still approaching through the cold emptiness between worlds. Whatever came next, humanity would face it as they had faced everything else, together and with determination that even gods might fear. The end.